3, 2. I love that. What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a vlog where you get to see a mid-30-year-old dude redo life as a barber. I am currently at the best barber school in the galaxy, Culture Academy, you know? So today is a great day. Today is an absolute great day if you can't tell, right? We got 2 haircuts set for today. One of them is a very special client. It is gonna be my brother. He's gonna be my first haircut for today. He doesn't really have much, no offense, you know, but you know, very simple kind of like he is kind of like sparse up here. So, you know, just making sure we get everything all evened out, like taper, fading it into the beard, you know. So he's gonna be real simple in that sense. Just really excited to like give my brother a haircut. That's pretty dope, you know, in that sense. It's gonna be my first time cutting his hair. So I'm excited to see how that goes. The client after that would be one of those like younger demographics, Paul. In that sense, Paul would be more in that same category as Armando that one day, which was the younger demographic, and Matthew a few weeks ago, which was that younger demographic as well. They're coming from that same, you know, group of people or network in that sense. So I honestly have no idea what Paul wants to get for his haircut. I'm just really excited to have like a very, you know, that's gonna sound terrible, but a healthy set of hair. Again, that is not any pun or any jab towards the lack of hair on my brother, but you know, it's you know, that's what's gonna be in the sense of being a barber, right? You don't know who's gonna sit in your chair. You're gonna get all kinds of people with all kinds of different demands. So I digress. Pretty stoked about it. So we're getting ready for that first haircut, and then we'll go into that second. I'll check in with you guys right after, and then we'll go from there. Have a wonderful day. Come join me for this lunch. All right, absolutely great haircut. We're gonna try to like squeeze in this little review with my lunch. My lunch today consists of a strawberry Pop-Tart and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Ethically priced here at Culture Academy for their students at $1 each. Come on, what other school is doing that for their conglomerate? For their people? Conglomerate. So my brother's haircut came out great. You know, he didn't have much. It wasn't, it is a very real thing in a sense of like, we talked about it before on that vlog, you know, where let's say like there's a big population out there, right? Especially if you're a male, you know, that we're gonna be thinning up here a little bit spruce. I really need to figure out the right way to say that. And it sounds so stupid that I don't, but you know, you're not tuning into the brightest person in the world, hence the whole redoing life in your mid-30s part. But I digress. So there's a big population that have like thinned out hair right there in the top. And you know, making the barbershop, like barbershops become a very uncomfortable, you know, place for that demographic. At least like that's what I'm gathering from a lot of the conversations I've been having with my clients, you know. And I do like in a sense of like people coming in, sitting in a chair, and the people that, you know, you want to target, right? That's very much a thing. That was very much a thing even with photography, right? Like if you're a wedding photographer, you only posted wedding photography. If you're a baby photographer, you only posted these damn babies, right? No offense. But, you know, same thing goes with the barbering industry, right? Like if you do highlights, you're going to do highlights. You're going to post a lot of highlight stuff. If you do a younger demographic that gets a lot of fades, you're going to post a younger demographic that gets a lot of fades. You know, now this demographic is very highly under supported in that sense. And it makes sense, right? There's there's a understanding to it, you know, but I want to really just strive in a sense of my chair for it to be welcoming to anyone, you know, that wants to connect with me and get a haircut and have that service or that and/or experience kind of thing. I truly believe the barbershop is for everyone, you know, and I would take that debate into like any kind of like hairstyle or hair conditions or whatever that do exist, you know. So even if you have no hair, you know, a straight razor head shave there's so a lot of value there and being able to bring it into your routine. But I digress. Going back to a haircut, super simple haircut in that sense. Basically a cleanup, taper on the sides and the back of his neck as well. You know, as you can see with him, like, you know, he has a lot of hair back there. So just cleaning it up, making it look professional, all that. You know, he's a professional individual, you know, so appearance is going to be really big with him. And that's where I say where it's a very undervalued market, right? There's a lot of like professionals in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, that have this kind of like situation going on, yet they have to look professional, you know, and it might not be the most aesthetically pleasing poses or things like that, respectfully speaking, in a sense of like a post blowing up, but that demographic is still very much a thing and very much undervalued in my opinion, you know. So I'm very grateful, you know, regardless of like me you know, having something like wanting to get fades in and things like that. At the end of the day, I said it in this vlog, you know, I am grateful for absolutely anyone that wants to sit in my chair, because it gives me an opportunity to not only converse and talk about, you know, their kind of like background with their hair, their journey with their hair as well, but you know, I've talked about this again before in previous videos, you know, all the different hair types and textures and all that, you know, regardless of like it being something that could complement the top area or whatever, you know, the sides, everything like that, it still provides a long list of lessons, you know. Like for instance, my brother, he had very crazy like whirls back there, you know, and we were able to get that out. And that alone, that exercise alone, regardless if it's like someone sitting in your chair that you could pull off a fade on or not, just the very fact of like, you know, the simplicity of his request, yet the variables that it offers still is very scalable to those like dope ass haircuts that, you know, we all love seeing on Instagram in that sense. But we're gonna get ready for my next client. He should be here at 1. It really should be any moment now, kind of thing. So really excited about Paul, so let's get right into it. All right, last one out the door. I was gonna record this inside, but you know, when the shop's closed, the shop is closed, and I'm grateful enough just to be able to record. Dude, yeah, I mean, so reviewing these haircuts, I do want to get into a more detailed review. I don't know if I'm fully conveying, you know, the haircut itself, so I'm still trying to figure out or formulate exactly, believe it or not, I'm still trying to formulate exactly how I want to present these haircuts and how I review them in that sense. So sorry about that. Paul's haircut. Actually, I don't know. How do I go into Paul's haircut? I mean, you know, we just experienced it. We just went through it, you know, but I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. There was like, he was satisfied, I was satisfied. Was I satisfied? I feel like the blur could have been better, you know, if I'm being honest. There was one aspect of it where initially he had talked about a low taper, and then we had to raise it up to like a medium to a high taper, like after the haircut was all said and done, and that's perfectly fine. I think in a video, there's two aspects to that, right? In a video before, I talked about, you know, the customer is not necessarily really knowing what low, mid, high, or you know, even the fades or even a drop fade. Like you need to walk them through it, right? And this does correlate to another aspect or another avenue that I need to work on, and that is consultation. So basically with this experience with Paul, you know, it just further identifies that I need to do a better job in consultation, which I'm gonna record a lot more so I can start like kind of dissecting that part of it. And then mind you too, I'm still very new to barbering as well. So I'm still learning a lot of the lingos and the verbiage, you know, in order to like provide that, you know, seamless experience. So it's a good place to be able to identify the parts that you need work on, you know, from me fully being able to identify haircuts, because I'm still working on that, you know, in a sense, being able to identify certain haircuts. And I know that might sound alarming, but this also goes into like how much goes into becoming a barber, you know, like I don't want to divert, but I do want to say that I do have a video in the pipeline really articulating why barbers are priced the way they are. Besides the 1,000 hours of school here and your health being safe, you know, from just going and getting a routine haircut, there's a whole like freaking science to this. And it's not rocket science, right? But there is a science to it. There is physics that are involved, geometry that's involved. There's a lot of math involved within it as well. And then besides the whole artistic side of it, you know, like it's a symphony of all of those things coming together. And that's what I'm calculating as barbering, you know, in that sense, you know, and that's a very beautiful thing because, you know, I could only find, I guess, like, the only thing that could stimulate my brain or like my brain, yeah, it is something like that. That is so depth that it's endless, you know. But to go back to the haircut itself, you know, I would give it like, we're not gonna grade ourselves anymore. I've been directed to not grade my haircuts anymore. So, so there's obviously some parts of that haircut that, you know, I can't confidently say, you know, I provided the best service. Did I provide a good service? Yeah, but we're trying to be the best, you know. The haircut, everything in between, he was satisfied. Really, that haircut in itself, you know, you go to any supercuts, great clips, all that, you know, and it would be acceptable in that sense. But I can't stress enough that, like, I can't afford, nor do I have the time to be anything less than great. And I do feel like I am like in this like kind of pigeonhole kind of part of all of this. You know, there's so much data being entered into my brain, and this is a part of it where I'm like kind of pissed off at myself, you know. There's things that I've been studying over and over and over again, and then I'm still deer in the headlights in some parts of it, you know. And that's something I'm navigating, you know. So besides the consultation part and mastering that and learning my questions, learning the haircuts itself, you know, we're still battling confidence, you know. We're still battling you know, just being able to like execute properly. I don't have a problem marketing, creating, you know, or even handling the tools itself. There's confidence in handling the tools itself. There's doubt in my own ability, and that's not what I need right now, you know. So even me communicating it right now and expressing it, articulating it, those are all notches to get me over it, you know, because I do need to tell myself, quit being a little wimp, Shy. You know, I need to tell myself to stop like being in my head, stop second guessing myself within those haircuts, you know. And that's just where I'm at. That's the identified place that where I'm at, and I'm working on it, you know. So besides that, you know, a beautiful day. We had a double header in a sense of haircuts. We got to cut my brother's hair for the first time, and then we had Paul come in for the first time. Hopefully he comes back. Paul, if you're seeing this, I love you like a fat kid loves cake. Please come back. Yeah, man, tomorrow we got another great haircut, and Saturday we got another great haircut. Not that today's Thursday, but tomorrow, tomorrow's special, and I'll talk about it more in the next video. But tomorrow's special because Nico, the person coming in, he is finally, Nico, if you're watching this, you are finally the first person that I have no association to that will be sitting in my chair that has found me through digital marketing, you know? So I'm so stoked about that. And then also fun fact about Nico, Nico was Miss Vogue's prior student. So it's crazy how it's a small world and how those are like intertwined in that sense. So I'm so excited about tomorrow. And another aspect of it too is like, you know, I'm gonna, in tomorrow's video, it is gonna be more an interview style with Nico, you know, because Nico did come from another place in the state to San Antonio, went to school here at Paul Mitchell, and you know, and now is just thugging it out as a barber, as a new barber, you know. And I'm really excited to just pick his brain, to just see like his journey, how he connected a lot of the dots, and you know, the shop that he's at right now. So tomorrow's episode, just like all my episodes, but tomorrow's episode is going to be very special because there's just a lot going on in that piece specifically. But that's gonna do it for me today. If you like this video, please physically like this video. And if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please physically subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be awesome. If you didn't know, that helps out a lot. And if you got anything of value, or if you have any feedback for me, whether it's the haircut, the video itself, or just my vibe, you know, please leave it in the comment section and I'll respond, you know? So we're still a small channel. And that's another reason why you should subscribe right now, because you could be like, I was there when he only had like 20, 30 people watching. And now this guy, no, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're new here, this is a channel where a mid-30-year-old dude gets to redo life as a barber student. And we're currently executing that at the greatest barber school in the galaxy, Viticulture Academy. We have a new video dropping every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 1 p.m. on the dot. I appreciate any and all support I can get. Love you like a fat kid loves cake, America. See ya.